I pay homage to the Blessed One, the Supremely Enlightened Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu. I pay homage to my teacher, Lokaswami Mahansi. Sadhu. This is a very beautiful sutta again about hidden defilements in this mind. Buddha analyzes all of them one by one, and we are also going to learn how to abandon these defilements. There's a beautiful technique to do this, a unique technique to do this, and Buddha categorizes defilements into different categories in terms of different ways of abandoning them. So this is very important. First, we are going to learn about these defilements, these negative qualities that harm ourselves and harm others.
At one time, Venerable Mahācundasutta was staying in the land of the Chetis at Sahajati. There he addressed the mendicants. Reverence mendicants. Reverend, they replied. Venerable Mahācundasutta said this. Reverence, a mendicant who makes a declaration of knowledge says, I know this teaching, I see this teaching. Suppose that greed masters that mendicant and keeps going, or that hate, delusion, anger, hostility, disdain, contempt, stinginess, nasty jealousy, or corrupt, vicious master that mendicant and keep going. You should know of them. This venerable does not have the understanding that would eliminate greed, so greed masters them and keeps going. They don't have the understanding that would eliminate hate, delusion, anger, hostility, disdain, contempt, stinginess, nasty jealousy, or corrupt wishes. So corrupt wishes master them and keep going. A mendicant who makes a declaration of development says, I am developed in physical endurance, ethics, mind, and wisdom. Suppose that greed masters that mendicant and keeps going, or that hate, delusion, anger, hostility, disdain, contempt, stinginess, nasty jealousy, or corrupt, vicious master that mendicant and keeps going. Keep going. You should know of them. This venerable does not have the understanding that would eliminate greed, so greed masters them and keep going. They don't have the understanding that would eliminate hate, delusion, anger, hostility, disdain, contempt, stinginess, nasty jealousy, or corrupt wishes. So corrupt wishes master them and keep going. A mendicant who makes a declaration of both knowledge and development says, I know this teaching, I see this teaching, and I am developed in physical endurance, ethics, mind, and wisdom. Suppose that greed masters that mendicant and keeps going, or that hate, delusion, anger, hostility, disdain, contempt, stinginess, nasty jealousy, or corrupt wishes master that mendicant and keep going. You should know of them. This venerable does not have the understanding that would eliminate greed, so greed masters them and keeps going. They don't have the understanding that would eliminate hate, delusion, anger, hostility, disdain, contempt, stinginess, nasty jealousy, or corrupt wishes. So corrupt wishes master them and keep going.
Sadhu, sadhu. Rejoice in your reading. And, so here the Buddha explains this set of negative qualities that harm ourselves and harm others. And as long as these defilements persist, we are far away from end of suffering. And so eventually all of these negative qualities must be abandoned. And first, let's try to understand the nature of these negative qualities. First one is, okay, so Buddha explains here, according to Buddha's teaching, Venerable Mahācundasutta explains teaches Dhamma here. But even though a Dhamma practitioner says that I know this Dhamma, I know this teaching, and I have developed virtue, concentration, wisdom, I have attained higher stages of understanding in this Dhamma. But it is just mere words. And that practitioner has misunderstood or overestimated or something like that. What is the reason? Because these unwholesome qualities are still present in him. Lobo, the greed, everybody understands that, right? Greed. Dosa, hate, anger, moho, delusion, and the person doesn't have an understanding about wholesome things, unwholesome things, merit, demerit, about dependent origination, lack of understanding about the true nature of this life, and about wholesome and unwholesome qualities. And krodho is anger, upanaho, hostility, keeping that hatred for a long time, it becomes hostility. And the person wants to take revenge. And then makho means he wants to talk ill about others. And he likes to cover up others' good qualities. That is makho.
Is it synonymous to jealousy?
No, jealousy comes here.
Oh, okay.
Isha.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Sorry.
Yeah. So talking ill about others and trying to damage the good reputation of somebody. And palaso, contempt. That means you try to do things against others, against somebody who did something to hurt you, and you want to hurt that person back. You don't want to forgive. Do you have that quality? So that is contempt. You don't want to forget that. You want to forgive that person. You don't want to spread compassion towards that person. You just want to hurt that person by doing things against. Another negative quality in the mind. And Matsaryan, stinginess. You don't want others, you don't like others to use your belongings. That's also a negative quality in the mind. And then papika issa. That is jealousy. You're jealous of others' achievements, others' belongings, others' wealth, others' beauty, others' fame. That's jealousy. And then papika icha, corrupt wishes. Do you have any idea about that? We are going to learn more about that in the next sutta. So you have to wait until we go to the next sutta. There's a list of corrupt wishes. You think you don't have corrupt wishes, right? Let's see when we go to the list explained by the Buddha. So these are the negative mental states, and if they are still present, in somebody's mind, even though that person claims to have attained higher stages of understanding, he still has to do a lot of work in order to achieve development, because these negative qualities are going to destroy that person.
Bante,
Mhm.
Bante, I check the synonym of disdain. It says in here, some of the common words are contempt, despise, and scorn. While all these words mean to regard as unworthy of one's notice or consideration, disdain implies an arrogant or supercilious aversion to what is regarded as unworthy. Something like
Yeah, arrogantly.
Kind of deep
Yeah.
words.
Yeah, speaking arrogantly and putting others down and putting yourself high, exalting yourselves. Yeah, you can use whatever familiar for you, and also the right meaning. So you have some idea about these negative mental qualities now, right?
Bante.
Okay. And then there's a simile here. Buddha, with the Buddha's Dhamma, Arhat Mahācundasutta explains more about this misunderstanding of that practitioner with this beautiful simile. Who is going to read the simile?
Okay, Bante, may I?
Mm-hmm.
Suppose a rich, affluent, and wealthy person was to declare themselves to be rich, affluent, and wealthy. And whenever it came time to make a payment, they were able to come up with the money, grain, silver, or gold. Then they would know of them. This person declares themselves to be rich, affluent, and wealthy. And they are, in fact, rich, affluent, and wealthy. Why is that? Because when it came time to make a payment, they...
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
There's a difference simile before that. That's the person, that's the rich person. We want to learn about the poor person
the
first.
Poor one.
Yeah, this is the poor person.
Okay, that one. All right. Suppose a poor, needy, and penniless person was to declare themselves to be rich, affluent, and wealthy. But when it came time to make a payment, they weren't able to come up with any money, grain, silver, or gold. Then they would know of them. This person declares themselves to be rich, affluent, and wealthy, but they are in fact poor, penniless, and needy. Why is that? Because when it came time to make a payment, they weren't able to come up with any money, grain, silver, or gold.
That is the simile, right? So even though that person says he's rich, when and even there are other suttas, there Buddha explains, when somebody says that I have attained these higher stages of enlightenment and I have developed this path to a greater extent, Buddha teaches there are these other disciples who can read others' minds, and then they would start reading the mind of this person and would understand, oh, this person has misunderstood because there are these defilements still present in his mind. So he becomes embarrassed finally. Okay, so it's like this. When you are asked to show your wealth, then you are in trouble. You can go around just telling everybody I am rich, but when time comes to show your wealth, then you are in danger, and then others will find out. That's the simile. Isn't that a perfect simile for that? And this simile is about a rich person What is the meaning of that? Oh, before that, we're going to learn about the person and then the simile. Can somebody start reading?
Bhante, I could read.
Okay.
If it's okay.
Yes.
Okay. A mendicant who makes a declaration of both knowledge and development says, I know this teaching, I see this teaching, and I am developed in physical endurance, ethics, mind, and wisdom. Suppose that greed does not master that mendicant and keep going, or that hate, delusion, anger, hostility, disdain, contempt, stinginess, nasty jealousy, or corrupt wishes don't master that mendicant and keep going. You should know of them. This venerable has the understanding that eliminates greed, or greed doesn't master them and keep going. They have the understanding that eliminates hate, delusion, anger, hostility, disdain, contempt, stinginess, nasty jealousy, and corrupt wishes. So corrupt wishes don't master them and keep going.
Yeah, so what is the evidence of his understanding that all these negative mental states are gone from the mind, right? So that is the evidence. So he is like a rich person. Yes, you can read the simile now.
Suppose a rich, affluent, and wealthy person was to declare themselves to be rich, affluent, and wealthy, and whenever it came time to make a payment, they were able to come up with the money, grain, silver, or gold. Then they would know of them. This person declares themselves to be rich, affluent, and wealthy, and they are in fact rich, affluent, and wealthy. Why is that? Because when it came time to make a payment, they were able to come up with the money, grain, silver, or gold.
So we just read. So now we need to learn more about. Now we realize that if somebody has this honest intention of achieving the development in this part, improving, right? They have to seriously work on this, abandoning these negative qualities. So we need to definitely learn more about this and the path to abandon these things. How to abandon these qualities?
Use mindfulness.
Yeah.
Why
Yes.
consideration, Bhante?
We need mindfulness. We need so many other supporting factors. So let's learn more about that. We go to this Kaya Sutta. This is also a beautiful sutta with powerful instructions, profound instructions from the Buddha about abandoning defilements. And in this sutta, Buddha first explains about bodily misconduct and verbal misconduct, and finally the mental misconduct. So first we are going to learn about bodily and verbal misconduct. But this sutta is mostly about mental misconduct. All those negative mental states are categorized under the mental misconduct. Who is going to read?
I can read, Bhante.
Is that Ben?
Yes, Bhante.
Okay, please go ahead.
Mendicants, there are things that should be given up by the body, not by speech. There are things that should be given up by speech, not by the body. There are things that should be given up neither by the body nor by speech, but by seeing again and again with wisdom. And what are the things that should be given up by the body, not by speech? It's when a mendicant has committed a certain unskillful offense by way of body. After examination, sensible spiritual companions say this to them: Venerable, you committed a certain unskillful offense by way of body. Please give up that bad bodily conduct and develop good bodily conduct. When spoken to by their sensible spiritual companions, they give up that bad bodily conduct and develop good bodily conduct. These are the things that should be given up by the body, not by speech. And what are the things that should be given up by speech, not by the body? It's when a mendicant has committed a certain unskillful offense by way of speech. After examination, sensible spiritual companions say this to them: Venerable, you have committed a certain unskillful offense by way of speech. Please give up that bad verbal conduct and develop good verbal conduct. And spoken to by the sensible spiritual companions, they give up that bad verbal conduct and develop good verbal conduct. These are the things that should be given up by speech, not by the body.
Okay. Isn't this a beautiful explanation? So, bodily misconduct and verbal misconduct are covered by precepts. That is the meaning here, because there are precepts for these both misconduct, bodily misconduct and verbal misconduct. And if you commit any of those offenses by body or speech, others can notice, others can see that, others can hear that. So they can at least help you to abandon that. And if you are if you are going to do that, they still can help you. Or if you have committed them already, then they will ask you to, rehabilitate you. They will ask you to fix those things. And because they are bodily and verbal misconduct. And all of our precepts are there to protect us from committing these bodily misconduct and verbal misconduct. And what are those precepts? Abstaining from killing, abstaining from stealing, abstaining from sexual misconduct. And so those precepts always there to guide us in the right direction to maintain our bodily good conduct. And we know the safe area that we should live in, that we should use our body, the wholesome field. Imagine if we didn't know about precepts, where is the limit? People can say different things. But because of the Buddha's extraordinary knowledge, now we know very clearly this is how killing happens. This is how stealing happens. This is how sexual misconduct happens. And this is the safe field. This is where I should live my life. I should not cross this line. If I cross, I would make bad karma. And we should be very grateful for the Buddha's teachings. Otherwise, we wouldn't know. And abstaining from lying, abstaining from divisive speech, abstaining from harsh speech, abstaining from gossip, that's the verbal good conduct. Now we know the safe area, and we know how to control our speech in a way that benefit ourselves and benefit others. But those are not the only areas that we should be careful about. And we are going to learn about the subtlest area of our life. There are no precepts for that area. There are no precepts for the mind. Others cannot see what is going on. If you kill somebody, others can see that action. If you tell a lie, others can hear that. And also they know that you have broken a precept. The sensible companions, that means wise spiritual companions. Not the ordinary friends or ordinary people who don't have any idea about wholesome and unwholesome. But here sensible means wise companions in the holy life. The Kalyana Mittas, noble friends, they know that you have committed an offense. But what about all those mental, the negative qualities in the mind? There are no precepts. Nobody can tell you that, oh, you are breaking a precept now. You're about to break a precept now. No, nobody knows what is going on inside your mind. But that's not an excuse for you to live with that, because it's going to be really dangerous. And even a very slight wrongdoing in the mind can do great harm to our life. Some monks went to hell in the time of the Buddha because of harboring anger towards virtuous monks, towards the Buddha. They didn't even tell anything, some monks. They didn't do anything against those monks. It's just having impure thoughts in their mind towards the liberated monks and nuns. That was so dangerous. So we should never take it for granted. We should take this seriously, even though others cannot see what is going on inside our mind. We should understand the danger of having unwholesome qualities in the mind. And Buddha very clearly explains about that here. Who is going to read?
Bante, one question first. What about the precept of abstain from taking intoxicating drugs and drinks and drugs?
Yeah, that's also...
That's for the mind, right? I mean...
No, that's not for the mind. That's not for the mind. Okay. That's also... that's the fifth precept. And if it is a precept, it's for either for bodily misconduct or verbal misconduct, right? Okay. So it's basically kind of a bodily misconduct.
Okay, thank you, Bante.
Okay. It's about drinking, right? You have to use your body. How can you drink from your mind? I don't know.
But it's just that drinking will cloud the mind indirectly. It might make us break the first 4 precepts.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking as well. Cloud your mind.
No, it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to. You don't wait till it clouds your mind. The moment the alcohol touches your tongue, you break the precept. Otherwise, some people misunderstand that you can drink alcohol as long as you're mindful and you don't harm others. So there's no danger, you don't break perception like that. I don't know where it comes from. So yeah, it's not a mental unwholesome quality. Yeah, these are the mainly mental unwholesome states that we are going to learn here. Okay. Who is going to read?
Bante, if you can hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. And what are the things that should be given up by speech, not by the body? It's when a mendicant has committed a certain unskillful offense by way of speech. After examination, sensible spiritual companions say to them, Venerable, you've committed a certain unskillful offense by way of speech. Please give up that bad verbal conduct and develop good verbal conduct. When spoken to by their sensible spiritual companions, they give up that bad verbal conduct and develop good verbal conduct. These are the things that should be given up by speech, not by body.
Please keep reading.
And what are the things that should be given up neither by body nor by speech, but by seeing again and again with wisdom? Greed, hate, delusion, anger, hostility, disdain, contempt, and stinginess are things that should be given up neither by the body nor by speech, but by seeing again and again with wisdom.
Sorry. Oh, is this Rob reading?
Yep.
Oh, sorry, I
It
couldn't.
was.
Do you want me to continue or?
Let me explain something here.
Okay.
There is a key phrase here. So when Buddha explains about these negative mental states and also adding that they cannot be given up by body or speech, there is a beautiful way, powerful way, a profound way to abandon them. And let's go to the Pali to see that beautiful phrase. And they should be abandoned. Panya disva pahatabba. By saying them again and again with wisdom. There are no precepts for the mind. We have to use our wisdom, mindfulness, awareness to see them, to recognize them when they arise. And then we have to use our wisdom, all the techniques taught by the Buddha, to abandon them. Isn't that beautiful? That there is a practical way, still a practical way is available to abandon them, even though others cannot see what is going inside the mind. Now, among these negative qualities, Buddha is taking two main negative qualities, and Buddha explains the meaning of those two qualities. First one is nasty jealousy. This is how first you recognize the meaning of it, so that when it is present, you can see it clearly. Who is going to read?
Can I try, Bhante, please?
Yes.
Nasty jealousy should be given up neither by the body nor by speech, but by seeing again and again with wisdom. And what is nasty jealousy? It's when a householder or their child is prospering in money, grain, silver, or gold, and a bond servant or dependent thinks, oh, may that householder or their child not prosper in money, grain, silver, or gold. Or an ascetic or Brahmin receives robes, alms food, lodgings, and medicines and supplies for the sick. And some other ascetic or Brahmin thinks, oh, may that ascetic or Brahmin not receive robes, alms food, lodgings, and medicines, and supplies for the sick. This is called nasty jealousy.
Okay, so this Well, not only lay people are jealous, right? And he explains even monastics are jealous of others' gains, praise. So there is a story about the danger of this jealousy in the Petavattu. So let me find that story to learn more about the danger of this mental negativity. Okay. This is how a jealous woman ended up in ghost world. You can see the danger here very clearly. The consequences of that negative mental quality. Who is going to read?
Ante, I will read.
Okay, Barry, please go ahead.
The ghost Mata. Even minor evil actions can result in immense suffering. A housewife named Tisa sees a female ghost and questions, Tisa, you are naked and very ugly. Your veins are popping out. You thin person with your ribs sticking out. Who are you? Mata, ghost. My name is Mata and you are Tisa. Don't you remember? I was your husband's other wife. I did lots of evil actions and was born in the ghost world. Tisa, now what evil deed have you done by body, speech, or mind for you to have been born in the world of ghosts? Mata, I got angry easily and spoke harshly. I was very jealous, greedy, and cunning. Having used harsh words, I have been reborn in the world of ghosts. Tisa, oh yes, I remember you. You were very violent those days. Let me ask you something else. Why are you covered in dirt? Mata, do you remember one day you had bathed and dressed in clean clothes? I wanted to be more beautiful than you, so I wore a more beautiful dress than yours. But I saw our husband talking and paying more attention to you rather than me. I was extremely jealous and got angry. I took some dirt from the ground and threw it at you. As a result of that bad deed, now I am covered in dirt. Tisa, oh yes, I remember that day you threw dirt at me. Now let me ask something else. Why are you scratching your entire body? Mata, one day we both went into the forest to gather some medicinal herbs. You brought back medicinal herbs, but I brought back plants that would make the body itchy. Secretly, I scattered them over your bed. As a result of that bad action, my body is always itchy. Tisa, oh yes, I remember that morning when my body got very itchy. Here's another question. Why are you naked? Mata, one day when friends and relatives gathered for a party, you and our husband were invited while I was not. I was very jealous and stole the clothes that you were going to wear to the party. That is why now I am naked. Tisa, yes, yes. I remember when you stole my clothes that night. I have another question. Why do you smell of excrement? Mata, you had nice perfumes, cosmetics, and necklaces made of flowers. I threw them into a pile of excrement. That is why now I am very smelly. Tisa, yes, I also remember when I found my perfumes, cosmetics, and flower necklaces in a pile of excrement. I would also like to ask you, why do you suffer so much? Mata, the wealth in our house was equally shared among us, but I did not collect much merit. Therefore, I have to suffer now. You warned me saying, you are doing evil things. Happiness will not come from evil. Tisa, you mistook me for an enemy when I was trying to help. You were also very jealous of me. Now you can see the result of your evil. You had maids and servants in the house and plenty of jewelry, but now they are used by others. Wealth is not eternal. Bata's father is coming home from the market soon. Maybe he will give you something. Do not go anywhere. Wait until he comes. Mata, I am naked and very ugly with veins popping out. It is embarrassing for a woman to be like this. Do not let Bata's father see me. Tisa, okay then, what can I give or do for you which can make you happy and gain what you want? Mata, invite 4 monks as a group and 4 individually. Offer alms to these 8 monks and dedicate the merit to me. Then I will be happy and gain what I want. Tisa, okay, I will. She offered alms and robes to 8 monks and dedicated the merit to Mata. The result of this donation immediately took effect in the form of food, drink, and clothing for the ghost. She became pure, wearing the cleanest and finest clothes with jewelry, and then approached Tisa. Tisa, who are you with heavenly beauty shining in all directions like a star? Why are you so beautiful? What merit have you collected when you were a human? Mata, my name is Mata and you are Tisa. Don't you remember? I was your husband's other wife. I did lots of evil actions and was born in the ghost world, but I am very happy now, rejoicing in your gift. I do not fear anything. May you live long, my sister, happily with all your relatives. Tisa, yes, sister, one should practice the Dhamma and be generous by giving alms. The person who does this will be reborn in heaven where there is no sorrow.
Sadhu, sadhu. We rejoice in your reading, Barry. Isn't that a powerful story about the danger of jealousy and also the beauty of patience, forgiveness, kindness, and compassion? Right? In India, that was the custom that a husband would have more than one wife, and they live in the same house. So this story is one of those examples. So those 2 wives, right? The husband had those 2 wives, and they were completely different from one another, right? And this unfortunate wife passed away first and took rebirth in a plane of misery in the hungry ghost world. But think about these, like the powerful lessons from these stories. And even though that unfortunate wife hurt the good wife a lot, she still had compassion, right? She didn't have any hatred or anger towards her. And even as a ghost, when she came asking for help, she was ready to help. And isn't that a beautiful quality to be cultivated in a human's mind?
Ante, I have a question.
Yes.
So if there's no me, myself, or I, how can Mata possibly remember who she was in a past life?
It's about own memory.
But my understanding, even if we go to heaven, we don't remember this. We'll have tendencies towards say what we've done here towards our past, but we don't remember.
No, there is a connection. There is a connection. The doer is the responsible individual for the actions, and the heavenly beings can reflect on their good deeds, which led him to the rebirth in heaven. Ghostly beings can reflect on their evil deeds, which led them to rebirth in the ghost world. And there is a connection between this individual and the actions done by that individual. And that's a different story. And the selfless nature, anatta, is a different aspect of life. And that should be understood. These 2 things are in two separate fields, we can say. Understanding anatta is a very in the deep aspect of the path, but till that person escaped fully from this notion of self, the person is, the karma, the consequences of all the actions will definitely follow that individual wherever that being is reborn, and that being has to repay those actions.
Okay.
And one of the reasons for that accumulation of that karma is the actions are done based on the self-view. That is why we are supposed to abandon that self-view fully. When the self-view is fully abandoned, the accumulation of karma comes to zero. That's what happens to enlightened monks and nuns. Because they abandon this self-view fully, that becomes one of the main causes for not accumulating the karma. That becomes the main reason for the destruction of karma, karma kaya. That becomes there is no arranging of karma in enlightened monks and nuns' life. One of the main reasons is that self-view is abandoned. And also the attavada, upadana, the clinging to the notion of self is abandoned. Remember the link between the upadana and bhava, upadana pacaya bhava. When clinging exists, arranging of karma exists. So there are 4 types of clinging, and one of those 4 types is the clinging to the self-view. So when all the 4 types of clinging are abandoned fully, it becomes upadana nirodha, bhava nirodho. It comes the cessation of clinging. Now it's not with the arising of clinging, it's the opposite now. With the cessation of clinging comes the cessation of arranging of karma. So that is the only occasion when an individual experiences the non-accumulation of karma. Other than that, all beings are responsible for their actions. Is that clear, Ray?
Yes, thank you, Bhante.
Good. That's the danger of having these negative mental states in the mind. And she had a very good companion in the same house. There was this disciple of the Buddha and tried to help her, but still she couldn't understand. She thought this friend as an enemy, right? But she was the true friend, but she was too late. So it happens sometimes. When people honestly try to help us, we don't recognize it. We think this person is going to harm us. And then we lose it, all the good things. Maybe she's still suffering in the ghost world. Who knows? And also, did you realize the importance of sharing merit with the departed relatives? And the ghosts know that very well. They know that very well. The most powerful way they can earn happy things is that their relatives who are still alive in the human world would go to the monks and nuns and for the dana and share merit with them, and they know that very well. Which her friend did, right? Share the merit, and but she cannot help the ghost to completely free from ghost world. She's there because of her own evil actions. But this is just a temporary help because she doesn't have clothing, she doesn't have food, she doesn't have drinks, she doesn't have a place to live in the ghost world, and she's naked and very thin, pale and hungry and thirsty. So at least, but it's a big favor for her, at least to find something to eat, something to drink, something to wear, is a great help. But it is in a way it's also temporary, because the gravity of the evil karma is heavier, and she has to stay there till that the results of the karma is ripened and exhausted. And you don't know after that where she would go. Maybe to hell, or be born as an animal, or reborn as a ghost again in the same ghost world, or going back to human world and reborn as a human baby, or we don't know what kind of karma would appear for her next. But it's very dangerous. As Buddha explains, even to be born as one time in hell or animal world is the most unfortunate thing in somebody's life. And what is that key phrase Buddha explains? Panya diswa pahatabba. Jealousy should be abandoned, saying with wisdom. Linda, you have a question?
Yes, Bhante. May I ask Bhante, in the sutta, it says that the ghost actually ask Mata to offer to a group of 4 monks and 4 monks individually, Bhante. Can Bhante explain a little bit about that, please, Bhante?
Yeah, so for some reason she asked like that. And also there is a difference. When offerings are made individually, like you go to a certain monk and you are very friendly with that monk, and you have a kind of different, let's say, a personal confidence. I think that's the right word, a personal confidence towards that monk. So you offer a gift for a monk, for that monk, mainly focusing on your personal confidence. And that becomes an individual offering. And then you don't have that kind of individual confidence towards different monks. You have the confidence as a whole, as a community of monks. So when you offer a gift, even to 1 monk or 2 monks, you think, may my offering be for the entire community of monks. Okay. And that is called a Sangha Dana, Sangha offering. It's not called individual offering. It's called Sangha Dana. And there is a difference, like different results are to be expected sometimes when somebody has this personal confidence, devotion towards an individual, and you only focus on that individual and that individual's qualities that helped you to develop your confidence or faith or devotion. And then your confidence, your faith towards that individual also lasts till those qualities are present in that individual. If something happens to those qualities and that affects your faith, and you think, oh, I just wasted my money. Why did I give things to this individual? I wasted my money. That's a drawback of having personal confidence. Okay, but if you are wise enough to make offerings to the community of monks, the Sangha, even though if one individual or if one monk or few monks make mistakes and behave badly, nothing happens to your confidence, because your confidence was based on the qualities of the enlightened monks and nuns, arahants, non-returners, once-returners, stream-enterers, virtuous monks. That's where your confidence was rooted. in. And also the merit, in terms of accumulation of merit in these two different occasions, also vary. And Buddha explains always the Sanghadana generates incalculable merits. And the results of the Sanghadana is always greater than any of individual dana. So Buddha always encouraged his disciples to give Sanghadana, not the individual gifts or individual offerings. But, you know, people have different choices and different requirements. So if the ghost asks her to do that, or she wanted her friend to offer 4 Sanghadana and 4 individual offerings, you know, and she asked that, her friend just followed her word, and finally she gave dana to 8 members of the Sangha. Is that clear?
Yes, Bhante. Thank you,
If
Bhante.
you like to learn more about that, please read Dakkhina Vibhanga-sutta, analysis of giving in the Majjhima Nikaya. Geeta, you have a question?
Yes, Bhante, there's a beautiful story when Mahāprajapati makes a siura, a robe for the Buddha. And in front of Ananda when she offers it, and he keeps telling her, give it to the Mahasangha, because obviously he's part of the Mahasangha.
Correct.
But she kept wanting to give it to, you know, the Buddha. It was such a beautiful story.
Because, because Buddha is the one who sees the karma, right? Karma.
Exactly. I mean, it was beneficial for her to do that, but she loved and cared for the Buddha so much. She had handmade the robe. What a beautiful story.
It's the Buddha's mother, right?
I know, exactly.
She was the Buddha's mother, but still Buddha wanted to, you know,
the benefit her the best, right?
Yeah, the best,
Such a beautiful story.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like how an enlightened being, free of all the defilements and attachment, still, you know, act in the world with limitless compassion. You know, in an ordinary world with people doing things with their defilements, always, you know, they make decisions and do things based on attachment, based on my people, you know, my family, my things, and like that. But because of that attachment, sometimes they don't understand the long-term benefits for their loved ones and, you know, others. But it's amazing how Buddha uses this extraordinary knowledge about karma and results. And it is not, that compassion is not limited. It's limitless.
Thanks, Bhante. Thank you.
Good. Sadhu. Sadhu.
Question.
Harry, you have a question?
Yes, may I? Regarding donation, Bhante, for example, if we donate to the monastery and identify the purpose of it, so I know there are different purposes. For example, if we donate exclusively for bhikkhus funds, or if we donate because we want to support the monastery's, let's say, expenses, or donate for other, let's say, for building a stupa. Okay. So what is the difference in terms of merit, earning the merits on this one? Okay. And second question is, Bhante, can you share the sutta on the merits of donation, different donations? Thank you, Bhante.
Oh, the sutta, Dakkhina Vibhanga Sutta. Is that the one?
Yes, yes, Bhante.
Yeah, Dakkhina Vibhanga Sutta, analysis of giving. And yes, there are different karma accumulation for different offerings of definitely. If you like, we can learn the words of the Buddha in details about those things, but I thought you are the people who like deep Dhamma. There is no such thing in the Buddha's teaching. Everything is deep. Like everything is deep. That's why we need an enlightened being to understand these teachings. Otherwise, even ordinary people will understand, okay, these are the different karma accumulation for different offerings. Even ordinary people understand, and they will be taught in universities and schools and so on. If ordinary people can understand those things, and if those things are simple things. No, they are not simple things. There is not even a single ordinary person who can understand those things. There should be the appearance of an enlightened being. Yes, so I will definitely teach you, one day about those different results for different offerings as disciples, followers, and those who are interested in the words of the Buddha definitely should know this, and they will appreciate the enlightenment of the Buddha.
Bante, I forgot also to ask Bante, what about those people who are behind the scenes in helping, let's say, to donate, to help make a donation become a reality? So there are some people, sometimes they help behind the scenes, like we need them in order to make it a successful one. So how much merits they are?
Oh, there are amazing, unbelievable stories about the merit who accumulate the behind the screen people.
Okay.
Like there is one story, and briefly, the person who owned the gifts, who spent the money on the gifts to be given away to the homeless people and for other people, the needy, and he went as a result of spending money on the gifts and organizing the entire thing. He ended up being reborn in a lower heavenly world, whereas the person who was in charge of giving those things to people, and he worked under that owner, this person was the servant of that other person, and the servant took rebirth in a very higher heavenly world than the person who gave orders to him. So there are nice, beautiful stories, eye-opening stories about the difference between karma accumulation. It's not only about wealth. It's not only about how much you have, how much you give, how much you own. There is a different criteria, and we can learn those things, in the future. For now, you just understand that there are those examples. Sadhu. Okay, so we will learn about more negative mental states and also the different techniques to abandon them. And especially since we talk about jealousy today, please practice a special meditation for that. Like, and the main thing is that you recognize them with your wisdom and try to abandon using your wisdom. And also try to practice this meditation called mudita meditation, appreciative joy meditation. So you are not jealous at others' achievements, others' gains, and others' happy things. You are happy. You are not jealous, but you are happy and you appreciate them. That's a beautiful, noble quality to be developed. Okay, and we will maybe one day do that mudita meditation again.